Hello and welcome to this League One preview predictions special from me, Stephen Downs. Obviously, I'm the Huddersfield Town fan on the West Yorkshire Football Show, but I'm going to be taking you through what I think will happen in a very, very unpredictable League One campaign for the 25-26 season. I'm going to share who I think is going to get relegated, and more importantly, not more importantly, but who I also think is going to get promoted both through the automatics and the playoff places. Please do get your comments down below, see whether you agree with me. Be nice, obviously. I'm not going to get them all right, as I'm going to show you in a minute from last season's predictions, which in some cases I got absolutely horrendously wrong. So let's take a look at what I did last season. And yeah, let's have a look. So last season, here it is. Obviously, as you can see there, I got a few of them right, but not many of them. Birmingham in number one. Obviously, Birmingham were always going to get promoted with the amount of money that they were spending on the likes of Stansfield and a number of other players that they brought in. Obviously, Alfie May, the Nick from us. I'm still not over that, but never mind. So they won the league quite comfortably last season. Then if you look down the table, we've got Town, who I predicted to be second, and we ended up being 10th. A terrible prediction from me that Michael Duff obviously left the Terriers at the end of last season, being replaced by Jonathan Worthington from the academy. And now we have Lee Grant in charge. Bolton, they came 8th. So basically, I've given them a traffic light system. If I get between 1 to 2 places, I've given as green. If it's between 3 to sort of 5, I've given yellow. And then obviously, if the team's finished way out, it's given red. So Bolton falls into the amber category. They finished 8th. I predicted them to finish 3rd. Peterborough and Rotherham were 2 teams that I thought were going to be up there respectively last season, but they finished 13th and 18th respectively, so I was way out with those. Lincoln also I thought would sneak into the playoffs, but they finished 11th. Charlton, who eventually went up through the playoffs, they finished 4th. I predicted them to just miss out on the playoffs, but they finished 4th. So they'll be playing Championship football, as we know, next season. Barnsley, they were 12th, had a poor running, just like Huddersfield did. Wigan, they were a surprise to not do well, but I had them around about mid-table. Blackpool were one of the ones that I predicted right. So they finished eventually, they finished 9th, and I predicted them to finish 10th. Wrexham, I was way out. They finished 2nd, and I predicted them to finish 11th. Same with Wycombe. They finished 5th, obviously losing in the playoffs. And I had them to finish 12th. Stockport was another one. So there's 3 teams that I horrifically predicted wrong. Stockport was finished 3rd, but I predicted them to finish 13th. Mansfield, I got pretty spot on. Burton, I weren't too far away. Exeter, neither. And obviously the bottom 2 in Cambridge and Northampton. So that's what I predicted last season, and that's how I ended up. Not the best. So let's hope I can predict some right prediction placings this time around. It's going to be a very, very interesting League One campaign. I'm looking forward to it. There's obviously the new teams that have come down from the Championship, Plymouth, Cardiff and Luton, and Bradford City with Gaz has come up from League Two, as well as Port Vale and Grant McCann's Doncaster, of course, as well as Wimbledon. So here we are. So this is what I'm going to predict for the 25-26 campaign. As I say, please do get your comments in below. Please do like and share the video. All the lads really appreciate it. And help us to grow the channel. So here we are. So the first team that I've got in to be relegated at place number 24 is unfortunately going to be going to be Wimbledon. So I'm going to go from right to left here. So place number 24 is Wimbledon. Now, I think that Wimbledon have obviously done well to come up. Got promoted from League Two last season and did a really good job. But they've had a few players go. Owen Goodman's gone to Huddersfield, the team obviously I support, who was outstanding last year for them in goal. And so they've lost a few key players. I don't think they'll be. I still think they'll be competitive, and obviously the home form is going to be absolutely vital to Wimbledon if they are to stay up. But I do think they'll struggle, and therefore they'll be relegated to the League back to League Two. So in 23rd position, I've got Northampton. So I will put them there. So Northampton obviously bounced between the two divisions for the last couple of years, but this year, I think it's going to be a step too far for them, unfortunately. I do think they'll get relegated. They've got a good manager there in Kevin Nolan. I think he did great last year in helping them survive. But they've lost a couple of players. Fosu's gone. So they have lost a couple, but they have brought in some decent signings as well. Michael Jacobs has come back as well. They've also had List has come in as well as a lad called McCarthy. So yeah, they've got some good signings there. But I think overall it will be a struggle, and the division is really competitive this year, and I can see Northampton being relegated in 23rd. So in 22nd position, I've got Stevenage. They did really well under Steve Evans last year, but he went to then Rotherham, and obviously that didn't end up working out for him. And now they've got Alec Travell as manager, inexperienced. I think they haven't lost a lot of players in terms of at the back, and they did have a really stable defence last year, but I do worry about them in their attacking areas. I don't see many goals in the side. They brought in a couple of players, not many, in terms of quality, in my opinion. So I think, unfortunately, they're going to be my team to go down in 23rd. 22nd. Sorry, 22nd. Go down in 21st position. I think Exeter City will be the one to go down in 21st position. Gary Caldwell there, well-respected gaffer, but they've had a steady decline over the last couple of years in League One. I know that they did okay when they first came up, and they've had some, decent finishes there. But I overall think that the squad is a bit weaker this season, and yeah, I've got them going down in 21st. Just staying up in place number 20, I've got Mansfield Town. Obviously, they've got Nigel Clough there as manager. Good manager at this level, knows what he wants. They've brought a couple of players in. They've still got a decent squad there of Mansfield. And I know that they had a bit of an iffy end to last season. But overall, I think, they'll be okay. I think they've got a better base of a squad than these four here in the relegation zone. However, it only takes one or two results against these to not go Mansfield's way, and they could be drawn into it. I still think that they need a bit of quality in and around the squad, even though they've got one or two individuals. I think they just need to buy some more quality, not a lot like in terms of numbers, because they've got quite a big squad, but they just need to buy a couple of more players in key positions, and I think they'll be okay. Mansfield, I really do think Nigel Clough is a really good manager at this level. Also, just in number 19th is Burton Albion. I think Burton are a decent squad as well. Beat obviously Town last year. Quite comfortably, the lad Burrell, who's still there at the time of recording this video. I think, Burton are an okay side, but again, have they got the quality to stay up like Mansfield? It only takes one or two results to go against them. against the sides that are going to be down there, and it could drag them into a relegation battle. But again, decent basis of a squad, just needs that extra bit of quality to push them further up the league and out of the danger zone. Finishing in 18th place, I've got Lincoln City. Now, this might be a surprise to a couple of people, and obviously Chris, who's a Lincoln fan on the podcast, he's a bit down about Lincoln at the moment. They have only brought in 2 players at the sort of recording of this video, which is Towler and also Sonny Bradley. 2 very, very good players. Sonny Bradley, even though he's 33, fantastic centre back, will go and head it and kick it and really get up people's sort of noses in terms of opposition. So I think he's a great signing for Lincoln. And Towler as well, very, very good signing. But they've only brought in 2 players. They've had a number of key players leave in Powdy O'Connor and obviously Sean Rowan, who's left to come to town. Powdy O'Connor's gone to Reading. So I think overall, again, I don't see a lot of quality in that Lincoln squad. And I do think they need to add in extra areas to climb away from the relegation zone. So out of all the teams that I think will be down there, Lincoln have the best squad, but that's not to say that they can't get dragged in either. So yeah, I've got them in place 18th. Place number 17th is Peterborough United. Now, Peterborough did really poor last year. I was really surprised at how poor they did. They've lost a number of players this transfer window, and I think although they normally find gems from non-league, that's not really happened in the last 2 seasons, or they've not come to fruition when they've brought them in. I think they're going to have a really poor season at Peterborough again, and I can't see them being up there. Although you never know, things might surprise. And normally when Peterborough do well, they do it very well in this league and score 100 odd goals, and don't concede many and get a great record. Well, not a record points tally, but you know what I mean. A really good record tally for what normally is a promotion side for League One. So yeah, Peterborough I've got down in 17th position. Maybe not as much of a surprise as what people have with Lincoln. To finish in number 16th, I've got Port Vale. So I think this is the first promoted side that I think will survive. Darren Moore, obviously ex-Huddersfield Town manager there. They've got, again, a good basis of a squad. I think most people have got... Well, some people have got Port Vale to be mid-table, and then some have got them to be relegated. I think they'll stay up, to be honest, and I think they'll stay up quite comfortably. Decent at the back. Goals might be a problem up top. But overall, I can see Port Vale staying up, to be honest. And Darren Moore, decent manager, whatever Town fans think, he's a decent manager at League One level. So I can see him staying up. See Port Vale staying up. Okay, number 15th, and this might be a surprise for some people. I've got Rotherham United. And again, just like Peterborough, very disappointing last year. Obviously, it didn't work out for Steve Evans. And I just think that, they haven't really added to the squad. The quality of the team is not very good, in my opinion. Clark Harris has gone. Now, that might free up a bit of wage for them to bring some quality in there at the top end of the field. They've lost a Dauphin to Luton. Very good centre-back, if not the best centre-back that there was in the league last year. So, they've lost quality. They've not replaced it. I can see them being lower than this, by the way, than 15th. But I've got them in a conservative 15th, but I do think they'll struggle. In place number 14th, we've got Bradford City. So let me just swap that around. So place number 14th, we've got Bradford City. Again, second promoted side. And to stay up, they've got to stay up. I think Bradford will be fine. Got a good squad, came up from League Two, lots of momentum. It's a big football club at this level. Home form can be crucial for them, and I know a lot of away sides that go there get a little bit scared of how big the stadium is and the sort of ferocity of the home fans, which is fantastic. It's lovely to see Bradford City back in League One, and I'm really looking forward to the Yorkshire Derby with them during the season. Not played them in the league for, I think it's something like 17 years. Last time we played them at all was in a cup. I think it was about 2011 or 11, between 11 and 12 or 13, 2011, 12 or 13 that we played them in the cup. Can't exactly remember, but yeah, they've got some good signings there. Humphreys, the lad from Barnsley, will have goals. I don't know whether he'll play up top. Depends whether Andy Cook is sort of gotten over his injury problems. But Humphreys tends to play out wide normally in cutting. They've also got the lad from Wimbledon, good signing. They've also signed a young lad from Everton's academy. I forgot his name, but he's a very exciting player. I know a lot of City fans are very excited to have him. And surprised that they bought him actually. So yeah, overall, I think City will be fine. Number 13th on the list, I've got is Doncaster Rovers, the last of the promoted teams. Again, just like Bradford, they've got some exceptional talent there that's got them up from League Two, won the title with a couple of games to spare. Grant McCann is a good manager. Okay, didn't do the best of jobs at Hull, but Hull are a bit of a basket case club at this moment in time, and so he's proven himself to be a really good gaffer at Donny, and yeah, they've signed a lot of decent League One players that should be able to keep them in this division. They're not going to be any higher than 14th, in my opinion, but again, they'll want to come up and challenge themselves, and certainly being in around that mid-table position. Now, a side that I've got in 12th is Wigan Athletic. So I've got Wigan to be in 12th. The reason I've got Wigan 12th is purely because I think that currently they are a good side in terms of they've got that really basic, very good squad. And they've got Ryan Lowe as manager now, who's a really good gaffer in terms of his team spirit, the way that he sets his team up, the way that he gets his teams to battle. I think they'll be very solid at the back, very solid. The thing with Wigan, last season, they didn't know how to play football going forward. They were all right at sideways, going sideways and backwards and keeping the ball for long periods of the game. But when it came to the attacking element, they just had no idea, no creativity. And I'm sure Lowe will be looking to improve on that going into this season. They've got Mullins that they've signed from Wrexham, who's a decent striker. And I think they're after a couple of decent midfielders at this moment in time of Wigan at the recording of this video. But yeah, I'm thinking that they're going to be mid-table. Work in progress for Lowe at Wigan. I think next couple of seasons we could see them rise, certainly up the League One table. In 11th position, I've got Wycombe. Obviously, Wycombe did really well last year in League One. They got into the playoffs. Exciting team, scoring lots of goals, very solid under Bloomfield. And Mike Dodds obviously took it over in the end. And I think they were a bit weaker when he took over. They're certainly looking weaker this year. They've lost a few players. The squad's not as strong. I can see people coming in for even some of the players that are still there that did really well last year. To be honest, I can see some teams coming in, and I just don't see Mike Dodds being as effective as what Bloomfield was for the majority of the season last year. So I've got them in 11th place. In number 10th position, I have Reading. Obviously, one of the things with Reading is that, over the last couple of years, they've been in absolutely horrific, behind the scenes state. And it's so good to see the fact that it's been sorted out there. Obviously, we played them back in the 2017 playoff final. I've got massive respect for Reading fans, with how they've, had to deal with what their club's gone through, and thank God that owner's gone now. The more that we get these crap owners out of British football, the better. They don't know anything about, community and being a football fan and what it means on a daily basis. They just see it as a chance to make money, and because he lost that chance to make money because they didn't get promoted to the Premier League, and obviously we did, and then they went down the divisions, he just lost interest, and to me that's just horrendous. And not how to run a football club that means so much to so many people. So Noel Hunt's the manager there, obviously a bit of a Reading legend. You'll all remember him scoring a few goals for the Royals. I think overall we'll do all right. Reading, they've lost a couple of players, but they've signed some real quality. Powdy O'Connor's one of them from Lincoln. So they'll challenge. They won't get into the playoffs, but they'll be in and around this higher mid-table position, and I think they'll do really well. To finish in 9th, it might be a bit of a surprise, but I've got Leyton Orient. So in 9th position, I've got Richie Wellens and the O's. Obviously, they've signed a couple of players such as Josh Cromer that were at O's. But they have also let players go. Galbraith's gone to Swansea. They've got a good fee for him. I think Leyton Orient's a bit of a weird one. There's only 3 players at the time of recording this video who you would say would be in their starting 11 are possibly going to start against Huddersfield on the first day of the season. We played them on the last day of the season. Last year, they beat us absolutely comfortably to go into the playoffs. But you look at that team, there's only 3 players left from that starting 11 on the last day. So they've had a massive change around in squad. But Richie Wellens is a really good manager, and I can see him sort of pulling something off here. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if they get the playoffs. It would not shock me. But overall, I can see them finishing just outside in 9th place. Team to finish in 8th is Barnsley Football Club. I think, again, it's quite interesting. You've got a number of young managers now in League One. So you've got, I still count Ryan Lowe as a bit of a young manager. But, yeah, you've got Conor Hourihane, you've got Richard Wellens, you've got Noel Hunt. You've got, obviously, Stevenage, Alex Ravel. Gary Colwell's not that old. The lad at Lincoln's, Skabula, sorry. So there's still a lot of young managers, but Conor Hourihane at Barnsley scored a lot of goals at the end of last season. I think he took them for like 10, 11 games, maybe. Scored a lot of goals. Got some problems at the back. John Russell's there in midfield, very good player. Connell, I don't know if he's going. They need to bring some players in. They've brought a couple in, but overall, I just think the squad, they've got a good starting 11. The starting 11 is probably good enough to get them in the playoffs, I would say, but the depth of the squad would leave them just outside. But it's if they sign a couple more players in key positions, there's no reason why they can't get playoffs at all. Right, in 7th place, I've got Bolton. Now, you would maybe think that Bolton will be higher. They have lost a lot of key players. They've cleared out the squad. They've done a bit of a town, really, and cleared out a lot of that squad that failed miserably last year. A little bit the same as Town. And so they're signing younger players now with more legs. Collins has gone. Santos has gone. The Thomason's gone to Wrexham. They've sort of got rid of a a number of players really. So it'll be interesting to see how Steven Schumacher does there. Again, a very, very good manager. There's lots of good managers in this league that really could be managing the division above, and that's why it makes it such an interesting division for me. Well, yeah, Steven Schumacher, good manager, likes to play, good football, experienced at this level. Obviously, got Plymouth promoted with an absolutely fantastic points tally. So yeah, I can see Bolton doing well. They might get the playoffs, just like Barnsley, just like Leyton Orient. But I've got them. I have to leave somebody outside, and so I've just got Bolton to be outside. Number 6, we've got Brian Barry Murphy, the first of our relegated clubs in Cardiff City. I think the Bluebirds have come down with, in my opinion, the squad which they've got a lot of championship experience there, but there's not a lot of positivity there. And even with the appointment of Brian Barry Murphy, I know for the fact that there's a lot of Cardiff fans that are not particularly happy with it. The expectation of how he's probably going to play football. I know that some Cardiff fans in pre-season have not been amazed by the football that he's played. They haven't signed hardly anybody in. They've lost a couple of players. Yeah, I can see Cardiff struggling now. Out of the 3 relegated clubs from the Championship, I can see Cardiff struggling the most. It wouldn't surprise me if Bolton, Barnsley or Leyton Orient replace Cardiff in that 6th position. But we'll have to see. Yeah, I've got them 6th. In 5th position, I've got Blackpool. I think Blackpool will be the surprise team this year. Steve Bruce is a very experienced manager. They've signed quite a lot of players, actually. Probably the standout is Fraser Horsfall from Stockport, who ran down his contract. They've got a lot of experience there, not just in Steve Bruce, but in the players that he's brought in. And I can see him sort of guiding them through the season, and particularly in the difficult part when it gets to like the winter, November, December, when the games start to pile up. And I think, yeah, he'll have them in 5th. I think they'll surprise a few people this year, Blackpool. In 4th position, and not to be biased, but I think, this is more realistic. Last year I had Huddersfield in the top 2. But being a Town fan, League One was a bit of a come down last year, and I've got us in 4th position. Overall, we've signed a lot of players. We've signed some great players. Alfie May. We've got Ryan Ledson, who I think is a great buy from Preston. I really do. Jack Mockmore has also come from there. Who else have we signed? Josh Feeney, it looks like a cracking signing from Aston Villa on loan. Played a lot of games for Shrewsbury last year. Had a very good pre-season. Very impressed by him so far. And yeah, I don't think Town are done in the transfer window. So we'll see. They could challenge top 2. I think Lee Grant is that's the biggest thing over Town at the moment with most people. They don't know how Lee Grant's gonna do, and I know for a lot of Town fans it is still a bit of an unknown because he's never managed at this level before. Had a decent pre-season. That means nothing really. I've seen Town have good pre-seasons and then have shocking seasons, and vice versa. I had bad pre-seasons and had really good campaigns. So yeah, I think 4th is a conservative estimate for where Town are going to finish. To finish 3rd and just outside the automatic places, I've got Plymouth Argyle. Tom Cleverley has gone in as manager there. I don't think you can have anything against Cleverley from his time at Watford because they replaced managers more than I have hot dinners. Not done loads of business, but obviously have lost some key players in all types of positions at Plymouth. But I do think, if they spend some money, which they have got money to spend, they can buy some real good quality in there. And I think, yeah, they'll be up there. They'll be in and around the playoffs. All these teams are very interchangeable for me, for sure. Right, to finish 2nd in the division, I've got Stockport County. Now, Dave Chandler, obviously, has done superb at Stockport. He's took them from non-league to where they are now. Obviously, they were really unlucky in the playoffs last year, and they were one of the best teams in League One, one of the highest scoring as well. It won't surprise me if they did one better. He normally gets a team promoted, even if they lose in the playoffs the season before. They go and get automatic promotion the season after. So I can see Stockport finishing second. Yeah, they're just a quality club. Obviously, they're doing some work on the stadium, so that's going to improve that. They've lost Alafi up front, which is a big loss to him. Scores a lot of goals, but one of the best midfielders by far in the whole division last year was Lewis Bate. Just a quality midfielder, and one that Stockport should be very proud of his performances last year. I thought he was absolutely exceptional. So yeah, I've got Stockport to finish second, and of course Luton to finish first. They've got the money to spend. They have got, they can spend up to 35 million for God's sake. I mean, they signed some absolutely quality so far. Naki Wells, Nigel Lombard that were at Town, a Dauphin from Rotherham that I've mentioned. They've got a quality squad already, and they're already adding to it. So I can see Luton finishing at the top and as league winners. So just run through it quickly to end with. I've got Wimbledon to finish bottom, Northampton 23rd, Stevenage 22nd, and Exeter in the last relegation place to finish 21st. Then we've got Mansfield at Burton, at Lincoln, and Peterborough to all be hanging around that bottom sort of area that could get relegated. Then we've got Port Vale, Rotherham, Bradford, and Doncaster to finish sort of in mid-table. I just think Rotherham are going to have a bad season, but all the promoted sides, except for Wimbledon, obviously, are gonna do all right. Wigan could do better than where I've got them, but I just can't see them being any better than these lot here. Then we've got Wycombe, Reading, Leyton Orient, Barnsley, and Bolton just to miss out on the playoffs. Again, like I've said, Leyton Orient, Barnsley, or Bolton could all get into the playoffs. I could certainly see Cardiff dropping out. I could certainly see Blackpool dropping out. And then in the playoffs, we've got Cardiff to be Plymouth, Huddersfield to be Blackpool, and if you want me to predict a playoff final, I will go for a Huddersfield Plymouth playoff final. I've got to say, and Town to win, obviously. Top two, Stockport and Luton. So those are my League One predictions. I hope you've all enjoyed that. Please do comment down where you think I've either gone right or I've gone wrong, or in fact put the entire table in of your predictions if you'd like. But I'm really excited about this League One campaign. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be very competitive by a number of teams at both the top and bottom end of the table. Let's hope that it is going to be as exciting as what I'm predicting. But thank you very much for everybody watching. And please do, like I say, like, share, and comment on the video. And we'll see you very soon, I'm sure, for another West Yorkshire Football Show. Thanks. Cheers, guys.